Optibike is celebrating its first 10 years of producing custom, handcrafted electric bicycles. From day one, Optibike's mission has been to make the best performance e-bikes in America.
Hi, I'm Jim Turner, President and founder of Optibike. Well, it's official. We've now been producing electric bikes for 10 years. Optibike is now the oldest manufacturer of electric bikes in America. We've always strived for performance and quality first. We don't want to be the biggest, we just want to build the best.
Jim Turner's invention of the motorized bottom bracket revolutionized electric bike design.
Now, we've been producing electric bikes for 10 years, but the development of the first Optibike didn't happen overnight.
Jim's first prototypes were built with hub motors, which he soon realized weren't the best design for electric bikes.
And then we came up with the concept of the motorized bottom bracket, and our first prototype had an offset motor, and we used this to verify the concept of the motorized bottom bracket or center drive. The way the motorized bottom bracket idea came to me was I was riding my road bike one day up a hill and realized the bicycle is the most efficient form of transportation in the world today. So why do we want to change that concept? Why don't we just add the motor in parallel with the rider, with the drive system that's already there? And furthermore, I realized from my engineering background that the human muscle is very similar to the battery and motor system. It can put out great amount of torque for short time, but it really likes to spin at a relatively higher speed to get the maximum distance and power out of the system.
Putting the motorized bottom bracket where the rider pedals created the world's most powerful and efficient electric bike. 2007 turned out to be an auspicious start for Optibike. The very first production Optibike was built and shipped to a buyer in South Africa. In 2007, Jeff Baum, director of the Breckenridge, Colorado Music Festival, bought one of the first Optibikes. Every day he rode 10 miles to work through the scenic Rockies. He enjoyed the ride so much that he even rode his Optibike through the snow.
Dude, it's not just the fitness, the physical fitness aspect, it's also the mental fitness. I mean, I get to work after riding, especially in extreme weather. In my mind, I'm really active, I'm creative, I get a lot of work done in a short period of time.
The New York Times did a story about Jeff and his adventurous Optibike rides in the Rockies. They called the Optibike the Ferrari of electric bikes, and in a matter of weeks after the Times story, Optibike sold out its next 15 months of production. In 2007, the Da Vinci Institute's Colorado Inventor Showcase named Jim Turner the Inventor of the Year in recognition of his exceptional ingenuity, creative genius, and product development skills. In 2008, the Optibike OB1 was featured in the Future of Transportation display at the California Academy of Sciences in San Francisco.
Optibike has always been ahead of its time and led the industry. In fact, our original Optibike 400, produced in 2007, has higher performance than most of the bikes today currently on the market. We were the first company to introduce lithium-ion batteries into an electric bike, the same battery cells that Tesla uses today.
Lithium-ion batteries nearly doubled the mileage an Optibike got on a single charge. In 2008, orders for new custom-made Optibikes more than tripled from the previous year. By 2009, the Optibike was gaining national attention. All-Pro NFL defensive end DeMarcus Ware bought an Optibike OB1 to use as part of his training regimen.
Now we just rode about 2 miles and they thought they were going to lose me, and I was still behind them on this Optibike. That tells you that I was trucking and I was pedaling the whole time. So I was going probably about 30 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour with the breeze, and that's really just keeping my body cool so I can, ride longer.
In 2011, Jim Turner designed some of the most powerful e-bikes ever made, including the lightning-fast Optibike R11. The Pikes Peak hill climb for electric bikes is a grueling test. Climbing over 7,000 feet, the riders raced 25 miles up to the 14,000-foot summit of Pikes Peak. The Optibike team of riders took the first 7 places in the race. Optibike's first place time was 1 hour and 6 minutes. The renowned Boulder Valley Velodrome chose Optibike as a pacing bike because of its unique combination of speed, power, and handling. The Optibike is able to replace a motorcycle and lead a pack of very powerful cyclists.
This gives a platform that's as fast as a motorcycle, but it punches the same size of hole in the wind as a real rider would.
By 2011, Optibike had delivered bikes to riders in 28 countries. They all ordered their bikes direct from Optibike, and each one was hand-built one at a time, just like today. In 2012, Steve Winwood invited Jim to his Denver concert after buying an Optibike as a birthday present for his recording engineer, James Towler. Back in England, James uses his Optibike to commute 16 miles to the recording studio, climbing over 2,000 feet during the ride. In 2012, Jim resumed motocross racing after a 30-year retirement. In his 20s, Jim was a 2-time national motocross champion, and he learned how a motorcycle had to work in harmony with a rider to win races.
And that was one of the reasons I got into electric bikes, because I saw the similarity between an electric bike is a crossover between a traditional bicycle and a motorcycle. And I knew the exhilaration that a motorcycle, a motocross bike gave people, gave me, and I thought maybe the electric bike can do the same thing. And I love this racing. It gives you adrenaline, but you know, it's risky.
In 2013, Jim wrote and published The Electric Bike Book, a book dedicated to helping people understand the technology of electric bikes and to showing how electric bikes can change people's lives.
In 2012, after working with hundreds of customers throughout the world and speaking to people interested in electric bikes, I realized there was a need for an educational resource to teach people about the wonders of electric bicycles, and nothing existed. So I began writing the Electric Bike Book. It is a great overview for people who are looking to get into electric bikes. It discussed some of the technology in a simplistic form so you can be a well-versed consumer, and it also gives you stories of how people have changed their lives with electric bikes and the different types of electric bikes. So it's a really good resource if you're looking at electric bikes and not sure about which one is right for you or how it can change your life.
Boulder's B-Cycle is Boulder's bike sharing program with 43 stations and 300 bikes.
One of the aspects about B-Cycle is reducing CO2 emissions and congestion, but they were using a truck to reposition the bikes because at the stations, often all the bikes will end up at one station and another station doesn't have any bikes. So they would drive a truck there and move them through the town and move them to the other station. Well, this presented a number of problems. First is the town is congested, it's difficult to park the truck, it takes a long time, and they're doing a lot of pollution in that process.
The Optibike's tremendous torque gives it the power to carry loads up to 250 pounds. Boulder B-Cycle built a custom trailer so that an Optibike could haul their bikes around town.
So it ended up being much faster. It was less costly because the cost of running the truck for them was quite extensive versus riding the Optibike. And it also let people be outdoors, the drivers doing this, got interaction with the people. It was overall healthier and funner and a greater experience for everybody.
In 2014, Optibike sponsored BERT, the Bicycle Emergency Response Team.
When Hurricane Sandy hit, and one of our customers called us and said he rode his Optibike out to his boat on the harbor because it was the only way he could get there and he wanted to check on his boat. And it made us start to think about the use of an Optibike as an emergency response vehicle.
Optibike teamed up with Denver University to develop a trailer that could be pulled by an Optibike. The Optibike can pull a trailer weighing up to 250 pounds for 100 miles at 25 miles per hour. In 2014, Optibike released the revolutionary SIMBE, the smallest electric bike drive system in the world.
The SIMBE stands for Super Integrated Motorized Bottom Bracket. And what's unique about the SIMBE is the motor, the controller, and the battery are all housed in one central system, positioned in the frame so the center of gravity is very low, so it gives outstanding handling.
SIMBE has a 37-volt, 21-amp-hour battery and a 750-watt motor, giving it twice the power of other bikes in its class. Jim's sons Nicholas and Austin grew up breathing electric bikes, and in 2014 they began working in the business full-time. In 2015, the National Hand-Built Bicycle Show featured a wooden SIMBE Optibike with an Optibike SIMBE motor. In 2017, Optibike released the Mini SIMBE, the first high-performance electric bike built for smaller people, and enjoyed by everyone. In 2017, Optibike moved to Paonia, Colorado, known as one of the coolest mountain towns in the state. A unique community settled by farmers, ranchers, and miners, now home to artists and outdoor lovers as well.
At Optibike, we look forward to the next 10 years, where we'll continue to innovate and lead the industry with radical new designs that show the way performance can be. We will continue to build bikes by hand because that builds the best quality you can have. So if you're looking for a bike that's unique and gives performance that can't be had anywhere else, look at an Optibike.